Do you need to create an online registration form? Well, let me show you how with Jotform. Hey Jotformers, welcome back. I'm Kimberly, and like I mentioned, if you need to create an online form for some type of registration, you can absolutely do that with Jotform. Now this could be an appointment form, maybe a booking form, or maybe just a registration for some type of event. You can do all three of those and more with Jotform. So as you can see, I'm currently in the desktop version of my workspace. The first thing we want to do is go to the top left-hand corner. We're going to choose to create. We'll come right here to form, and there's a lot of different options that we can choose from, and you can start with whichever one you feel most comfortable with. If we're looking at the bottom, we can see we have start from scratch. So if you know exactly what you need to be included in this form, you can absolutely start from that. If you have a form from somewhere else, maybe you want to bring it in, we can see that we can import from a URL, maybe a PDF. If you already have a registration form, you want to clone it, we can do that here. Lots of other different ways that we can bring in a form. I'm going to go ahead and head back though. Next, we have document to form. So if you already have a PDF or a paper version of this registration, you can easily upload that PDF to Jotform, and Jotform will map those fields and create a form for you. If you need to collect signatures for any reason with the registration, you can do that. But we also have the ability to look through and search and use over 20,000 templates. So let me do a quick search for registration forms. But before I do that, on the left-hand side, we can easily see that we have over 4,000 registration forms, almost 3,000 event registration forms, over 1,000 booking forms. So something that you're looking for, you can put in some keywords and it's going to pull up a form that is going to be pretty much tailored to what you're looking for, and then you can easily utilize that template. But for this example, I'm actually going to head back and I'm going to use this right up here at the top. I'm going to tell it what I want it to create, and Jotform will create it for us from scratch. Now, of course, we can easily type something in, but sometimes it's a little bit easier to kind of talk through the thought process of what I want this form to look like. So I'm going to use the talk option.
Hey there, what kind of form can I help you build today?
Hi, I'm having an in-person event that I need a registration form for, and I want to make sure that I am collecting their name, their email, and there's going to be some food options, so I want to make sure I get their dietary restrictions and other fields that you feel are important for event registration.
All right, I'm setting up your event registration form with those fields and a few extras to cover all the basics. Hang tight.
Perfect. So from here, we can literally sit back and watch Podo.
All right, I'm starting by setting up the title for your form. Now I'm adding the key fields you'll need to get started. All set, your form's ready to roll, but if you want to tweak or update anything, just say the word. I can handle it right here with you.
All right, perfect. Now, if you are more comfortable having a conversation, like I was just sitting back having a conversation with Podo, you can easily do that instead of having to do things yourself. Completely your call. But we can see that we have in-person event registration. Now we can easily change this to be, maybe it's a gala. We can change that right up here. And as we scroll down, we can see what Podo has given us as far as form fields. We have their full name, email address, phone number, any dietary restrictions, emergency contact phone numbers, how'd you hear about the event. We also have agree to the event terms and conditions, and we can also make this a link as well, so that way people can click on it to look at the terms and conditions. So let's go back, and I'm actually gonna bring Podo back in.
How can I help you?
Can you change the dietary restrictions field to a drop down with options like vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and other ones that are like that?
Oh, sure thing. Let me get that updated for you. Done. The dietary restrictions field is now a drop-down with options like vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and an open choice for others.
Perfect. So we can see what all of those options look like, and we can easily come in here and add something in. Now, if you would prefer to not use Podo, we can do all of this manually. On the left-hand side of the screen, we can choose to add in a form element, and we have all of the basic elements that you would need, from the name, the email address. We even have the appointment option. If we need for them to sign a signature, we can absolutely do that. We also have some short and long text. We can see that we have some long text right here for the special accommodations. If we want some type of a single choice, multiple choice, we saw that we were able to change that long text to a drop down for the dietary restrictions. But lots of other options if we need for them to upload something specific, maybe their ID, we can do that as well. We even have the ability to put in a star rating or an input table to give some type of ratings. And if you want, you can create multiple pages within a form, and you would do that with the page break option. Now, coming over to payments, if we need to collect payment for this registration, we have over 30 payment gateways that you can choose from. Very simple to add in. It is free to utilize within Jotform. The only charge you're going to incur is what is going to be charged by that payment gateway. And then, of course, we have some widgets, and you can even create a widget by AI. So if you can't find what you're looking for, you can actually ask Podo to create a widget that is specific potentially for your event. All right, I'm going to go ahead and head back over to basic, and I am going to bring in a short text field, and I'm going to put it directly under the dietary restrictions, and I'm going to put favorite foods. And then we can easily make this favorite foods. I'm actually going to choose properties, and we have different options for all of these fields. The properties are going to open. They're going to be very similar, but each one has its own properties that will open on the right hand side. So we can see we can mark this one required. We can duplicate it. We have some options that we can choose from. We can even choose advanced. So I want this one to be hidden. So I don't want this to show on the main form. But what I do want to do is I want to have some conditional logic. So I want this to be when they choose a dietary restriction, I want them to tell me what their favorite foods are. So that way I can ensure to have something that they're going to love. So I'm going to come up here to settings. We're going to come over to conditions, and I'm going to do show hide field. Now, again, if talking this out is a little bit easier, you can absolutely ask Podo to do that. So I'm going to say if the dietary restrictions is equal to, and just for this example, I'm going to go ahead and choose vegan. We'll do show the favorite foods. We'll save this. Let's go ahead and preview the form, see what that looks like. All right, we'll come down. We can see that the favorite foods option is hidden. So I'm going to go ahead and choose dairy free. It doesn't populate. Same thing for halal. Doesn't populate. But if I choose vegan, we can see we now have that favorite food. So you can show and hide. You can skip entire pages based on what someone inputs into their form. All right, let me jump out of preview. Coming up here to publish, we can easily copy this link and send it through the appropriate channels. Maybe it is on social media, maybe it's through a newsletter, or maybe it's for a company. It needs to go out through Slack. You can easily copy this and send it out through the appropriate channels. If you need to, you can invite by email. If you have a company website, you can easily choose to embed this form. Just copy this code and paste it in the embed code area of your website. If you already have a list of people that's going to be getting this form, especially if this is for a company gala, you can also use the pre-fill options. You can manually pre-fill, or you can upload all of your employees in, so that way it already fills in a couple of those fields, potentially their name, their phone number, their email. So that way all they have to choose is their emergency contact and if they have any dietary restrictions. But let's go up here to quick share. I'm going to go ahead and preview the form, and I'm going to do a quick fill form. All right, we have John Smith. We have all of his information. We see he chose vegan, and eggplant parmesan is his favorite food. We have his emergency contact as well as how he heard about the event. We're going to go ahead and agree to those event terms and conditions. We can go ahead and register. Perfect. If we jump out of preview, I'm going to head over to our tables so we can see what this looks like as far as the data goes. And here we see John's information perfectly came in. And once you get more people registering, we can easily use these three dots right here and we can summarize by a chart. So we can see how many people visually chose different things. We can even make this a donut or a pie chart. So that way it's a little bit more visually appealing and we can visualize our results. And it's as simple as that. If you have any questions about how to make an online registration form, let us know down below in the comments. If you like this video and you got some value, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you get a notification every time we put out a new video. I'll see you next time.